I'm Zach. We are People's Rebuttal, and that's Flozell Adams. What's up, man?
What's the dealio?
How's life been?
Life has been great. No complaints here, just dealing with this Texas heat. And it's not even hot yet.
I'm going to Pittsburgh. We were talking about that. It's like 98 degrees in Pittsburgh.
Is it?
Yes. I
Oh,
was thinking I was going to go someplace where it was going to be nice and cool.
nah, those people out there probably passing out right now.
Pittsburgh.
But that 98 up there is different than 98 down here. It's hot, but it's not hot.
Yeah. So it's 94 today. Then it's going to be 93, 95, 93, 96 on Saturday. 90, and then it starts going down into the 80s.
I bet you that 95 is 85 here. Let me know.
You think?
Yeah. Probably be a little steamy out there with those three rivers around there, but that 95 is not the same as 95 here. You'll probably have a cool night with cool breeze though.
Yeah, it's in the 70s at night. It's like almost desert shit. But
yeah, that's perfect.
Oh no. All right, man. Well, oh yeah. So obviously, this happened a week or so ago. It's sombering news. Larry Allen passed away. You knew Larry, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Pretty unexpected.
We played with each other for 8 years. 8 years together, and 7 years side by side. So that was definitely an amazing feat that we had, and all the battles that we've been through. We call them battles and wars on the football field, but we also hung out a lot, and I want to say battles off the field, but we definitely had our fun. And when I got the news, it was just like heart dropping. It was definitely heart dropping, and very sad to hear that it happened, especially as sudden as it happened, especially while on vacation in Mexico.
Yeah.
So I mourn for the family, and my condolences out there. I don't have any information where I can contact his wife, but losing your best friend for 30 years, I'm sure you're not probably want to talk to too many outsiders that's outside the family right now. That's totally understandable. But definitely gut wrenching. Definitely gut wrenching. So yeah.
He was living in California, right?
Yes, he was out in California.
He's from there, though. I think that's what you were saying.
Yeah, he's from LA area.
All right. Yeah, our condolences to the family. That's never. It's always. I mean, he was young. I mean, what, 54? I think is what they said.
52.
Ooh. Makes you think. I mean, that's right around the corner for me.
It's around the corner for me too. But we don't know the cause of death. But I don't know. I don't know what to guess. I mean, he was on vacation. It wasn't tragic. It wasn't a tragic death like automobile or anything. So, but health wise, it was. So I'm sure we'll get that information out. Whenever we get it. But
Yeah.
playing alongside that guy, I like to tell a couple of stories about Larry, LA. And I remember when I first got here, this is a time when people know about technology. I mean, we never thought we'll have video podcasts 20 years ago. We could talk to each other on video instead of just on a phone.
Through the waves.
Yeah, satellite, television, all this modern stuff. But people like us at our age, we remember how it was when everything was analog.
Oh yeah.
So being in, I didn't hear about the Cowboys until I was like late in high school and then college. And I saw them play and won a couple of Super Bowls. The first two I was in high school. The third was when I was in college, and everybody on the team at Michigan State was rooting for the Cowboys. I was the only one that didn't root for the Cowboys at the time. Hey, don't blame me. I never any association with the Cowboys because I was in Chicago and Michigan. But nevertheless, I got drafted and came down here, and I met all our offensive linemen. And at that time, very vocal guys that was there. Eric Williams, Nate Newton, and we had a guy named Clay Shiver at the time before Step came back. Everett McIver. Those guys talk all day, no matter what, whether you're on the field or off the field. And I quickly noticed that. But then we had this one guy that didn't say much, and that's Larry Allen. He'll speak to you if you spoke to him, but he's not going to come up to you and strike up a conversation.
Yeah.
And I always stayed clear of that guy. Definitely my first year, even though he played left tackle at the time and I was at right guard. But, I said a couple of words when he talked, but it's just like, okay, yeah, bye. All right, good morning. Okay. It wasn't much of a conversation, but nevertheless, the story is coming to my second year when I moved to left tackle and they moved Larry to left guard. Offensive line coach had pulled me to the side, and he said, that's when he said, we're moving you to left tackle this year, and we're going to move Larry inside. And he said, you're going to have to do something. I said, what, coach? He said, you're going to have to talk to Larry. That's how he said, you're going to have to talk to Larry. I was like, what do I do? I said, how do I talk to him? He said, you better figure it out. So immediately after that little session outside the offensive line room, I went to the locker room and Larry, about 4 lockers down from me, and I sat next to him and I said, hey, what's up? They told me I'm moving left tackle and you moving left guard. And he just turned around, looked at me, did his eyes like that. All right. He said, all right. I'm like, okay, good morning to you too. Okay, have a good day. But that off season, we definitely, started talking more. I mean, it was like I had to pull chains to get this dude to talk, but he's definitely a warrior. And I like to go back. My rookie year, I was going to say that everybody talked about Larry. And I was like, who is this Larry? Everybody talk about Larry Allen. Because like I said, everything analog. Chicago and Michigan, we only knew about the regional things unless it was on the Super Bowl or maybe the playoffs, but regional stuff, you didn't hear much of going on the Cowboys or Miami Dolphins or San Francisco. Everything was Chicago, Detroit, Minnesota, maybe Indianapolis, Detroit, maybe even Pittsburgh, but nothing in the South. Never heard of this Larry Allen. And once we started playing, I got on that field and he was just smashing fools. And I would sit there, just even during a game, I'm looking like, dang, you hear it. You hear helmet against helmet. And you're like, dang, you told me like, goodness gracious, this guy just smashing fools. And left tackle. I was like, goodness gracious, I found out who Larry Allen was quick.
Yeah.
So going back to the second year, he just told me a couple things that this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna F up that mother effer. And I said, all right. I said, what do you want me to do? He said, when I go down there, hit him on the shoulder, you go down there and cut him at the knees. I'm like, is that illegal? He said, looks at me like this. I said, all right, no. But he's definitely a true warrior. One of the things that some people probably heard is that, you try to not give away your play, being offensive lineman, but, these guys are smart. We're smart, the defensive line is smart. They know what the play is. You just got to stop it. But Larry, like on a 3rd and 1, especially when the game on the line, we'll break the huddle, and he'll walk to the line and go, doo-doo, whoop, whoop. He's telling the whole defense that it's coming to that side, our side. I'm looking at him like, dang, dude. I know they know, but they have to know.
Yeah.
And he just look and he's like, all right, Larry. Another game, 3rd and 1. We're losing. We need the 3rd and 1 to, get the first down and win the game. Break the huddle. Break. That dude was funny. he was funny in his own spirit, but a lot of things that happened, on the battlefield and with him over the years. That 7, 8 years was very, very uh, memorable. I remember a lot. I could talk for half a day about the stuff that just we've been through, let
Yeah.
alone just being on the Cowboys. I can go on and on and on, and I can't remember exactly, but when I realized that he was going to be a Hall of Famer, probably I'm guessing my third or fourth year, and sometimes you just sit there and embellish what I'm in right now. Like, dude, I'm playing next to a Hall of Famer, and
Yeah.
he's still playing. He's still playing. I'm playing next to a Hall of Famer, and it was just magnificent just to have that feeling that, I mean, everybody, NFL player wants to go to a Hall of Fame, but most of the time it's going to be highly unlikely for most players, but just to play next to one is an honor. It was definitely an honor to be playing next to this guy, because I can say that I played next to this guy. And it was not like anything a fan or a guy from another team or a guy that's a Cowboy that's playing right now. Oh, Larry, this and that. I'm the one that played next to this dude. And it's definitely an honor. But like I said, I can go on and on and on about Mr. Larry and some of the stuff that we had went through, and I'm definitely appreciative of everything he has taught me. And on the field and off the field, we talk off the field, and he's taught me some things too. So it's definitely appreciative, and he's definitely gonna be missed. So
You played with you played with a lot of Hall of Famers, though, right? Because you played with Emmett in the beginning.
Yeah, I played with Emmett. Emmett was there 5 years with me. Yeah, I think 5 years. We had him for 5 years. Troy, I think 2 years. Mike, 2 years. Who else is there? Emmett.
Dion.
I played with Dion for
T.O.
about 2 years. Who? T.O. Yes, T.O. Yeah. I had him for 4 years, 4 or 5 years, something like that, give or take a year.
Is Romo in the Hall?
Nah, he's not in the Hall of Fame.
No.
So I don't know why, but I think he should with all the records. Jerry, he made the Hall of Fame. So, but all those guys made the Hall of Fame, wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, but it's different when you actually play next to one, like rub the elbows with one. So, I mean, Emmett,
y'all had the same purpose, right? I mean, y'all have the same purpose. It's that front line. Everybody on that line, for the most part, has the same purpose. I mean, you got tight ends who do tight end stuff. They run and catch the ball. They do block. But you have your primary offensive line, and that is like y'all. It's like we all have one purpose: make sure he don't get hit, and slam whoever's in that direction.
Yep, open up the holes for Mrs. Smith and whatever running back is out there, and keep Troy healthy and Romo healthy and whatnot. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's about the same purpose, the sense of urgency that we had to use to be able to get that stuff happen. A lot of people don't know about it.
All right. So you were on Hard Knocks, right?
Yes. I was on Hard Knocks twice.
Twice.
They had it twice.
Yeah.
Hard Knocks is a jinx.
So I was going to ask you though, so because you had seen you've seen Hard Knocks, is it a distraction?
I think it's a distraction. I remember the first time, whatever year it was, if we look it up, we're going to find out what year it was. But the first year, I think we were the first ones with Hard Knocks. It might have been, if not the first one, the second year or whatever. And there was guys everywhere, film crew around, these big long mics on the field, and they're in the meetings, and it's like it's a TV show. While we're working for the season, they're out there like all in your face. And then they want to do interviews and stuff with specific players. And if you had a fight, they'll come in the meeting room and they ask you questions or what have it. But I just think it's a jinx. I didn't like it not one bit. And then when the second time came around, it was the same crew. And I do remember saying, like, hey, y'all leave me alone. Don't ask me nothing. I told those guys, don't ask me nothing. You just keep that camera away from me or anything like that. Because if you look at it, if I'm happen to be in there, it's probably like on the side, but the camera wasn't on me. I'm like, I don't like that. It's a definite jinx.
Yeah, so 2002 was the second. So the first year was Baltimore. The second year was Dallas in 2002.
Okay, yeah, I knew it was first and second. What was the second time with the Dallas Cowboys on 07, 06,
08.
07?
08.
08? That was after the good year that we had, even though we messed it up in a doggone playoffs. But then that 08 season wasn't good. Both seasons weren't good when we were on Hard Knocks.
Well, and they had 2021. They didn't have a good season that year.
What, for Cowboys?
Yeah.
I bet you if you look at the percentage of the records for Hard Knocks, it's not good. You might have had a couple of times where the teams went to the playoffs. There's definitely not a team that went to a Super Bowl that was on Hard Knocks. Am I right?
While no team has won the Super Bowl in the same season as appearing on Hard Knocks, 7 of the 18 teams to be featured on the show made the postseason. Who cares? Nobody cares about the postseason.
Yeah. Nah. And how many years has it been on?
Hard Knocks is in season 24.
So 7 out of 24.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It's been on, well, this will be its 19th season.
19th season, only 7 teams went to the postseason. That's 40%. So that means it's a jinx, just like I said. And then it's 100% jinx that you don't go to the Super Bowl.
But look what happened to Miami. Oh my God.
Wait, what happened?
Because they were doing so well. That was the year that, I mean, they were lighting it up. What was that? They were lighting
about
it up.
3 years ago, right?
No, it was last year. It says 2023.
They had a great year last year.
Right. But yeah. Okay. So how many Hard Knocks and what they so hard? They were doing better before Hard Knocks, and then it went to hell in a handbag after Hard Knocks. They were doing a lot better. So they were, I mean, if they would have kept on that path, they would have, flown into the postseason. But by the time the end of it happened, they were fighting to be in the postseason.
Yeah. Hard Knocks.
And obviously the reason I'm saying this is because we know the Chicago Bears are on Hard Knocks this year. And you might as well put Caleb Williams on the front of Madden.
Yeah.
Might as well. It just.
Let me jump off the subject right now. If I were ever like Christian McCaffrey and whoever has been on the Madden cover, I would sue. I would sue whatever. Who's that? EA Sports or something like. I want them to get me off their cover this year. That's another thing. Being on that cover is like being on Hard Knocks.
So I found out that a bunch of guys aren't signing their contracts. I think Caleb Williams, because they get put into this pool of players that can be used for the benefit of the NFL. And so if they end up on the cover of something like that, they get paid for it, but it's not a deal between them and EA Sports.
Well, what it is that, I'm just making round numbers right here. EA Sports signed a deal with, or whoever it is, signed a deal with the NFL. And then
Right.
NFLPA signed a deal with the NFL or EA Sports using the rights of the players. So once they sign it, because when I was in, you could sign it and get it because I was offensive lineman. We don't like give a damn about the offensive lineman. Everybody gets $10,000.
Right.
Quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, fullbacks, everybody gets $10,000. But the reason these guys are not signing it because they're like, I don't know what it is now. When I played, probably 50,000, 60,000 now. But they're like, I'm not signing that just to only get 50,000. Using my name, I'm Caleb Williams. I'm Tom Brady. I'm Lamar Jackson. I can get millions.
Who's the wide receiver? Who's the wide receiver that went to Arizona? His dad played in the NFL.
Arizona.
Yeah, he got drafted by Arizona, the Ohio State wide receiver. His dad played for the Indians. Yeah.
Harrison. He didn't sign his either. I don't blame him. These big old multi-billionaire. They're talking on NFL, Madden, and stuff getting sold all across the world. And you're only going to give me 50,000, 100,000, whatever it is, and you somebody like Marvin Harrison, a top name. No, you give me a couple of mil for me to sign. So that's what they're doing.
He's refusing to sign the GLA, which is the NFL Players Association Group License Agreement.
Yeah, that's what it is. Players Association. Players Association affiliated with the owners on that.
Right, which allows partnering companies such as Nike and EA Sports to use the player's name, image, and likeness.
Yep. So companies are trying to go around the players because they're trying to snoop into the contracts.
Why pay Marvin Harrison Jr. millions of dollars when I can get away with whatever?
Yeah, so they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. But all of those things they have to sign, like a disclosure. Especially when it comes to the video games and anything like that. But one thing when it comes to Nike, you have to wear like a Nike uniform. You can't, Reebok or whoever it is or Under Armour can't come in and say, hey, we want you to wear Under Armour or Reebok uniforms when the team is Nike. Like I think Dallas is Nike. You can't wear Nike or Reebok uniform, pants or jerseys, stuff. But you can. Only thing you can change, you can wear what you want to, are shoes and like wristbands and gloves. Uniform has to stay whatever the team signed for.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I've seen that. That's why a lot of those, it's becoming a big deal. I mean, you look at even Caleb. Let's see, because his NIL paid him a ton of money. I think he's worth like $10 million before he was even.
Yeah.
It's just $3 million. Caleb Williams, $3 million, and that was before he ever even, got NFL money.
And that's on paper. You might as well double that.
Yeah.
You might as well double that. This dude's worth $6 million in college. This guy had a beach house in college, man.
Okay, so Marvin Harrison Jr. is worth between $5 and $10 million. And
he hasn't played a single down.
No.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That NIL stuff is big money. I mean, it
is.
Yeah,
it's going to make a lot of players. It's going to break a lot of players. And that's going to be unfortunate. It's going to be very, very unfortunate. You're going to hear a lot of sad stories in the next couple of years. But
yeah,
they allowed it.
I know Caleb's out there talking about how he wants 8 Super Bowls. I'm like, dude, just give me half of one. Just one.
8 Super Bowls? Let's get to the playoffs, son. We'll talk about that after you reach the playoffs. And your Hard Knocks this year. I hope that the Bears set a trend this year on being the first team in a while, well, with the horrible records for the last 10, 15 years to be able to go to the playoffs and be on Hard Knocks. That'll be a record. I bet you it's a Vegas bet right now.
Man, that's So let's get to some DFW news. Dallas
pathetic.
Mavericks,
That was pathetic.
Boston Celtics.
That
So
was-
I have, and I know I tagged you in this post, but I was talking about, it seemed that the Maverick or the Boston Celtics intentionally lost the game in Dallas so that they could go home and win.
Oh yeah.
And if you look at the numbers, they won by a minimum of 7 and twice by 18. Their first game and their last game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 99.99999% sure that Boston threw game 4 intentionally.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. Now, well, I agree with you 100%, but I think this is what I think. No player is ever going to throw the game. You want to win, especially when you do the championship. And I bet you those players had talked about, should we win right now or should we win in Boston? They didn't tank their game initially. So if you watch the game, you see that they really, really tried, maybe a half a quarter, maybe a quarter. Then they're like, we're not shooting good. Okay, forget it. And they tanked it.
Yeah.
They tanked it.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where you don't intentionally, you don't, I mean, you do and you don't. It's almost like, look, guys, this is game 4. We could go out there. We could give our 100%, 110%. But how about we do this? How about we go out there and give 80%, maybe 90%? Have some fun. Don't wear yourselves out. Don't try too hard. A nice little fun game. Just go out there and have a good time and don't worry about it. It's not like other games where you're like, you got to go out here, you got to win this. It feels like it was more of, hey man, go out there and have fun. Don't.
I agree with you. I think it, like I said, I think it was 100%. But once they found out, they played 100%. But once they saw that this is going to be, well, we'll wait till they have it in Boston. That's it. We're going to shut it down. And that's what they did.
Yeah. I mean, they were just whooping their ass. I mean, they were the better team. I mean, I see the post. I see Chad posting. I see people posting. Oh, Luke is doing that. I honestly believe Boston was just a better team. I mean, they just were.
By a long shot. This is probably the worst finals that I've ever seen. You've seen blowouts here and there all along the season. You've seen some blowout in the finals for years, but you don't see them back to back to back to back to back. All 4 games that they won, they got blew out. And then the game that every game they lost, I'm sorry. And then the game they won, they let them win. Yeah. Just to have the championship in Boston. So they were like, hey, Mavs, we're not going to win here. We're going to give you the game so you can have fat-ass Luka get on there smiling with that grizzly smile, thinking he actually did anything. And we're going to take this game back to Boston, and we're going to run circles around him once again because he can't get his fat ass off the ground for a jump shot, shooting one-legged shots. So, yeah, we got this.
Yeah, it's and again, I'm not a huge basketball person, but it's not hard math to say 1 and 1 equals 2, and you threw that game.
Yeah, they threw that bad boy. Yeah, they did. I remember back when the Bulls were playing, they were trying to say the same thing, that the Bulls should, throw a game to have the championship won in Chicago, but they didn't do it. They went on and won it, wherever it was. If I'm looking at it right now, they went on and won it in the city that they did, and then celebrated once they got back because they didn't want to take a risk of them getting some type of mojo or surge or anything. You never know. You never know what the other teams, good teams, are capable of doing. You don't know what they're capable of doing, but you knew what the Mavericks were going to do. They suck.
But when you're literally whooping them, and they won 3 straight, when you're whooping them that bad, nonstop, I don't think because I mean, they couldn't win in Boston. And then Boston's like, well, we need to go in and beat them in Dallas, at least one game. And so they did 99-106. And they're like, hold on, man. We can take this shit. When it comes to Boston, we have them on offense, on defense, and shooting. They cannot. And of course, Flozell booted himself out. But it remains they cannot win. So they took it and made it to where, hey, we're going to win in Boston, and yeah, I utterly despise Hard Knocks, although I will watch it. So that's kind of a bad part to it. But what's up, man? You hit the end button.
Man, I don't know what happened right there. But I'm back. I was only on about 10 seconds.
Yeah. What else you got, man? What else is going on?
No, I mean, I want to go back to Mavs. And I was a Mavs fan in my years of being here in Dallas, but I'm not a Mavs fan anymore. I'm not the one to jump the wagon of being a fan. I stick to him to thick and thin. And that dang on Luka. He's a good player, but he's a bad player. He can shut it down. He gets tired, and he does the things he does. Don't even try on defense. He just want to be an offensive player. It don't work. It doesn't work. And it happened not just in the finals, NBA finals. It's happened plenty of times during the season. Now, everything about being an athlete is all on tape. Well, not tape, it's digitized now. They can say, oh, you just click it. They don't use beta cams no more.
Yeah.
But everything is about on tape. They did the analyzation of tapes and everything that they did with Luka this year and exposed them. That's why the Mavs were in 5th seed instead of the first, second, third seed. But they exposed him so bad that next year it's going to take a half a season for the Mavericks to figure out how to not have Luka exposed. Because he just laid a blueprint of himself for the whole NBA. Even though they saw it already, but it made whole NBA has seen it. So they're going to be blasting the Mavericks next year. And I don't even see them. I see them barely making the playoffs if they make it next year with Luka.
You're talking about, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you said that before. You play your first year, and the real question is, in any sport, what happens when they figure you out.
Mm-hmm.
When it's like, hey, we now have you on tape. How well are you going to do now?
It's hard to, once you get labeled on film, it's hard to get out of that. It's like you have to dig yourself out of a hole. Once a team start exposing you, you got to figure out other alternatives, switch up your game, or do something else different. Because most of the time you're repetitive. You do the same thing. But once you get exposed and you keep trying to be that repetitiveness, it's not going to work. So you got to figure out other angles to go to be able to get out of that situation you got in, and that's what great players can do. And
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. And I really, really hate to say this right now, but I'm going to call it like it is, like LeBron James, even when he's not being the flop. But guys like him that can change up the game and be able to do it once they got exposed.
So this year they had the flop rule, right? Or is that next year?
I thought they had it this year, but it seemed like they were calling it at the beginning of the season and kind of gradually stopped calling towards the end, and that's when LaFleur had really, really, really started taking advantage of it when the referees quit calling.
Yeah, and that to me, I mean, it makes the game horrible, in my opinion. Everybody just falling all over the place, acting like fools. Again, and I only catch these every once in a while when I see them. But you go back and you watch old games. I am a little tired of, the LeBron and Jordan, who's the greatest player of all time, when, there is a player that has more rings than both of them put together.
Well, I mean, I don't know why they keep talking about it. Everybody knows who the greatest player is. What they need to talk to is where it says, talk about it where his ranking is. The greatest player is Michael Jordan. So no matter what, LeBron, he can win 2 more championships right now and still will not be the greatest player. So it's just
So you
gonna
don't
have to.
you don't count Bill Russell.
As the greatest player ever in the NBA?
And if
No.
you're talking rings,
No.
that
He's
fool
not
had
the greatest
11.
player. Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about a 7-foot dude playing against some 5'8"
White people.
boys. Hey, wait, I'm not gonna take it away.
Yeah.
What he's done, his 11 rings or how many leaves and all that other stuff, but he was 7 feet tall playing against a whole bunch of 5'8" white boys back in the day. And the white guys in the NBA and stuff, however many it is, they are athletic. But you're talking about the 50s and 60s. Those guys like walking sticks out there.
Yeah.
So not taking it from him, but Jordan is still the greatest player.
All right. I gotta ask. But I see. I mean, one of the things that obviously for him, he was also a coach, I think, for 2 years.
Head coach.
Yeah, the head coach for like 2 years. Yeah, 57, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. Yeah, he just was. And then what year did Wilt Chamberlain come in?
Wilt Chamberlain's first year. His first year was Philadelphia. 1958. Wow, I thought it was like 65, 66. Oh, he was with the Harlem Globetrotters at first, 58 and 59. Then he went to Philly in 59.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the guy that had the, what did he say, 10,000 women?
Who, Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain?
Wilt Chamberlain.
He had a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. Talk about somebody had a great life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it is when it comes to the greatest players. Oh, we're doing it right now.
What?
They were saying that Jokic is the best player of all time, but something that happened. Now they were talking about the 2023-24 season.
Yeah. There's, it's like boxing. Most people don't realize, the reason that boxing was such a big deal was because we had an American, Mike Tyson, who was literally dominating the sport. There is no individual like Michael Jordan who's just dominating the game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
There's guys out there that are good and they're good with other people. And Jordan was good with other people. I mean, he had Pippen, he had people around him. I'm not arguing with that, but just the idea of there's nobody out there, that's dominating the game of basketball.
Not right now.
And I think that's why it's kind of like you lose interest, All right, that's why boxing is the same thing. I lost interest because there wasn't, Mayweather was the last true dominant American, fighter. And I guess Mike Tyson and what's his name's fight got delayed, right?
The YouTube guy.
Yeah, their fight got
canceled, but they moved it to December or something like that.
Yeah.
Somebody must have been not in shape. That's what I'm guessing.
Well, I would assume that would be Mike Tyson. I can't imagine that they Mike Tyson's health. Fighter could be pulled from fight.
Oh, it said Mike had health issues.
Yeah.
58 years old and probably choking on his lung from smoking all that weed.
Yeah.
You talking about 58 years old getting back in the ring with somebody that's like, oh yeah, passed out in the workout. Yeah, like I said, from all that doggone weed.
Yeah, he needs money.
Well, after all that stuff, he's blown. Yeah, he does. Yes, he does.
So what is the purse? 20 million?
It's 20 million?
Yeah. Parent previously hosting 57-year-old set to take home in the region of 20 million. Woo!
Shoot, if he still has a problem with the IRS, they're going to tell him to take the bulk of that.
Dear Mike Tyson, you can whoop my ass for $20 million.
Nah, yeah, he can get me for $1 million. But hey, I tell you, I will go out there and seriously try.
Yeah.
I will go out there and seriously try. If I actually train for that, I bet you I can last 3-4 rounds. I think I can last. You got to stay away from them. It's all about being in shape. You got to stay away from them.
So basically, don't do this. Just run laps in circles.
You can run laps and stick and move. I'm gonna throw some punches in. Stick and move. He only like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, no. I'm probably just gonna walk up to him and be like, man, just hit me in the gut and I'll pass out. All right, just one punch.
I ain't going out like that.
Shit.
If he
For $20 million?
No.
Yeah.
For $1 million, I'm going. I'm all in. I'm going to try. If he knocked me out, like Flozell got his ass knocked out, but they were like, Flozell really, really tried.
So how about that? If it was like one of those deals where, look, if you lose, you get 10 million. If you win, you get 20 million. Yes, I'm going to train. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to go out like a champ.
I'm going out like a champ. Yeah, I said even for $1 million, I'm going out like a champ.
I don't know. I might just lay it down for him. Be like, hey, don't kill me, Mike. Don't kill me, Mike. I need one of your half jabs. Just a half jab. Can't imagine.
Give me a best shot.
Yeah.
Give me a best shot.
He'd have to be jumping for you. I mean, you could literally just like, boop. Oh. All right, man. What else you got?
There's really nothing. This is off season. And there's nothing really else to talk about. Hey, you want to talk about hockey? No, I don't even know who's in the finals. Is it Florida?
Florida has a hockey team?
I think it's Florida. Is it Panthers?
Oh my gosh! Didn't even know that Florida had a hockey team.
Stanley Cup
Finals.
I think they're Miami.
Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers lead the series 3-1. Wow. Didn't even know that was a thing. When in God's green earth did they get I don't even know when they got a team.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening to this feed right now.
You're just frozen.
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Nothing. We're towards the end. But yeah, I didn't know that. So NHL, the Florida Panthers, Edmonton
Oilers. I've heard of them.
Where are they? Let me see where they're from. Oh, he done booted himself out. That's all right. Oh, he's back. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. I tried. All right, it didn't work.
Edmonton Oilers, a professional hockey team. Oh, Canada. Canada.
Yeah, Edmonton Oilers. We got Dallas Flo talking about Simone Biles. Yes, I've seen some stuff on her on the internet, and this lady, I don't even know what to call it. She did some flip or something. Because I remember when the last Olympics, she did something that no other gymnast has ever done. And I don't know, maybe I'll look it up, that something that she did like a week or two ago was something that a gymnast has never done. I mean, this lady is killing it. She's killing it.
Yeah, that girl is she's 27 years old. Still
She's 27. She's 27 doing that. She's like an old lady right
in
now.
gymnastic
And she's
terms,
still
yeah.
doing it. I'm looking up something right now. May 19, 2024 dominates the hydration classic. I'm looking at it right now. She's if you see it, it's gonna be in a pink uniform that she's in. I don't know what they call those things.
Oh, they're leotard things?
Is that what they call leotard?
I think so.
She's only gets better in creating moves.
Yeah, that girl crazy.
Leotard.
I've always thought the great thing about Simone Biles is just the amount of class. You know, she just seems to be very classy.
She has been. She has been. And,
You don't get that from a lot of.
Are you not getting this from what's the lady name from WNBA Chicago from LSU? Reese.
Oh, yeah.
She shows class. She shows class, but it's what she does on the court. There's probably a little classy. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You saw the swipe. Did you see the swipe she did on Caitlin Clark the other day?
No.
That's basketball.
Yeah,
but the big deal.
I'm very confused. You have a lot of people, trashing Caitlin Clark. She didn't make the Olympics. But the cool part was, the part that I agree with was, a lot of them. She's done well this year, but she hasn't been. She's not Olympic ready to do well.
No, she's not.
But everybody got their panties in a wad because she didn't make it. And I get the argument. The argument was, if you're looking from the marketing side of it, she's going to generate all this money and all this participation. But as a coach, you don't give a shit. You're out to win. You're not out to you're not out to sit there and go, oh, well, this is the most liked person, in women's basketball. So let's just go ahead and include her on the team.
No. Not when a lot of the competition is pretty much equal. And I say it like it is. It's not like the USA basketball team going against a European team, but 20 years ago, the NBA dominated. But now that the Euro teams or whatever teams that's coming over are doing these Pan Am games, something like that, they're almost just as equal. And you've seen over the last couple of years that USA has not been dominant over the last 10, 15 years. But when it comes to basketball, women's basketball, they're pretty much equal. So as a coach, just like you said, just because she's generating more money if she's doing it and she's got a name and all that other stuff, I don't give a damn on what she's doing and what she's generating. I'm trying to win. I put her on this team just to generate money. I don't worry about the money. I'm worried about my reputation. I want to win.
Yeah. I mean, and that is, I if you've ever seen the deal about the USA basketball, the men's side of it, and I forget who said it, but they said Kobe's going to go out there and check this guy, and they go, "Oh man, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. That's your teammate," because I guess they played together with the Lakers. And come to find out, first play of the game, Kobe goes out there and just runs through him, and the idea of winning is what generates that. But that also goes towards, how if Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal shooter and she can do all these things, just like with any game, and you played, how many defensive players just sat there and bumped their gums,
All the time.
talk, physical, little small, punch after the play, pushing after the play, all that stuff after the play, because they're trying to get in your head so that you don't, so maybe they can throw you off a little bit. This, her basically, hitting Caitlin Clark to me falls under the same idea. Did she go too far? I don't know. I really haven't seen it, but what was she trying to do? What was her goal? Her goal is to get inside of this girl's head and throw her off her game. Right?
And that's being an athlete. That's being an athlete. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I mean, she took a swipe at the ball and then her head was in the way. So, like, hey.
Oh, no, she did. That's exactly what. I'm sitting here watching it. That's exactly what she did.
But shouldn't women basketball be physical? Of course. It's basketball. He's bumping and posting and all that other stuff. Yeah. What are they supposed to do? Just go around just shooting and not shooting threes all day? No.
Excuse me, girl. Excuse me, girl. I'm coming by. Oh, yeah. She went straight for that ball.
Go around you, please.
Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm coming right by. She did, because now I'm watching the slow replay. The slow replay is she went for the ball and her arm came down and whacked her in the head. Suck it up, Buttercup. And we lost him. But yeah, suck it up, Buttercup. Move on. No.
I'll try it again. It won't do it. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's the way the basketball is. So we just got to suck it up and just do it. So then they have to put a little Caitlin Clark getting beat up on, but all the cameras on her. But when you look at all the other teams, they're doing the same thing to that other little point guard. So it is what it is. It's just the media. People fall into this media thing, and the media is just always subjective. What does the media do? They create stories. They want, back in the day, it's how many papers you sell. Right now, it's how many clicks. If a particular reporter or something like Stephen A. Smith or other guys that I don't know about, like the NBA guys, Charles Barkley and Shaq, it's all about the clicks. They create stories instead of really, really looking at what's happening. But a lot of people and sports fans and society, they just are feeding off this stuff and like, oh, I agree too, instead of really looking at the exact situation of the whole thing. But again, most people don't know until they actually been a part of it, and so if you're not a part of it, you're just going to fall into the category of what these doggone reporters doing. So I don't know.
Well, but so that's funny. So we'll go small time politics here. Small time. We won't get outrageous on the people's rebuttal right now. But I find it, you sit there and you watch, when Trump gets convicted, Fox News is like, oh, it's a hoax and blah, blah, blah. And, MSNBC, CNN, everybody else is like, oh, look, he's guilty. And then you turn around and you get Hunter Biden, who gets convicted of, filling out an application and lying on the application about his drug use. And it completely reverses. Fox News is over here saying, yeah, he's a horrible person. He was a drug addict and he tried to get a gun. MSNBC and CNN and all those are talking about how, oh, well, it's not, oh, it's all political. It's all political. So they reverse the entire thing. I will say officially, this is the truth and this is a fact. Both them motherfuckers were guilty. Political, not political, both them fools were guilty.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden had a plea deal, and that's, the left always says, well, Hunter Biden had a plea deal and they went back on it. No, Hunter Biden had a plea deal. The judge read the plea deal and was like, what is this? You're just going to let him off with nothing? No.
Yeah.
She refused. I don't remember if it was a him or her, but that judge refused the plea deal and told them to go back and start over because they weren't going to approve basically letting him off, of taxes, of the gun charges, of all the judge just wasn't going to be like, oh, okay. Well, since you're Hunter Biden, we're going to let you go. But both them fools were guilty. So both y'all shut the hell up, report it like it's supposed to be, and we're going to have most likely, the way it's coming down, there's a really good chance that we're going to have a convicted felon as a president, which I believe is not the first time. And he'll be on probation. I am curious how that one works. Like
the president of the United States, or what they call it in movies, the president of the free world, is a convicted felon that's on probation.
The on probation's the funny part. Like, how does that work? How does the current president of the United States report to his probation officer?
And what are you gonna show up in the White House and get?
Oh no, you got to do home visits. So
you gotta do home visits at the White House.
Oh,
You got a home visit. Hey, wait, I'm gonna see something right quick.
I have home visits at the White House.
And the dude is 78 years old.
Just think about all the things that go with probation, though. Home visits, right? They show up at your job. Can you just see this dude's in the middle of a G7 summit or a G whatever summit or at the United Nations, and his probation officer shows up? I'm just checking in on Donald, making sure he's still got a job.
This is gonna happen. He's gonna be in the G7 summit. Where is it normally, in Geneva or something like that? He's gonna get a call
all around.
Yeah, he's gonna get a call and like, hey, you need to show up for your probationary hearing. Like, well, I'm in Geneva. Well, you better get back here. We're gonna revoke your bail.
Wait, you were gonna revoke your probation, but we need a UA. It's a spot UA.
Yeah.
You gotta take a drug test.
Yeah, you gotta take a drug test. Boy, this world is crazy.
Oh, that'll be some funny shit.
And all the while, the dude couldn't use his own money to pay a friggin' stripper.
Right. Well, and I'm going to say it like this. First of all, I'm not defending Donald Trump. The dude's guilty as shit. But one of the weird things about the whole Donald Trump thing was I've had clients, let's look at why I'm going to Pittsburgh. The person who called me to come to Pittsburgh is not the person who paid me. It came through the company. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean he wasn't guilty. The dude was guilty. But how and where the money came from, yes, he should have been like, hold on, here's a personal check. Give this to my porn star hookup so she keeps her mouth shut. I did think there were some funny things that were said by other people who, other rich people. That the guy who's on that Shark Tank thing who was like, oh, well, who's next? Well, if you're breaking the law, jackass, you're next. You're the next person. If you have to ask the question, who's next? I would like to meet with you so that you can give me the names, because obviously a whole bunch of motherfuckers who are next. let us know who they are and what they did. So you're next, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, well, that's how American politics come. So this is going to be a very, very entertaining fall when it comes to that. It's going to be like watching a daytime soap opera.
Ugh.
They're going to get they're going to put a Nielsen ratings on the debates. It's going to break records this year.
I had somebody ask me, because you had a whole instance where people weren't debating, and I thought, what is a decent reason to debate? Because we already know your politics, we already know your policies. Most of the time, whoever you're debating, including yourself, you're just gonna lie. So what difference does a debate make? You're basically watching two people lie.
Yeah.
That's all you're
That's
doing.
all it is. That's all it is. Watching them lie.
Yeah. I don't watch debates because it's ridiculous.
Well, the crazy part of that whole situation is even if you're watching the debates and if you actually believe that crap, shame on you. Shame on you for believing it.
But that, they kept saying the 2016 election was hacked. They love to use that word. And there was nobody hacked the 2016 election.
Nah.
They lied on social media about, Facebook allowed them to, or allowed stories to be published that were completely untrue, which means a whole bunch of stupid people who get all their news off social media. Dear God, you people need to quit getting your news off social media. But that means the people who got their news off social media got suckered into voting for Donald Trump rather than Hillary Clinton. That's not a hack. Nobody got hacked.
Yeah. And what's that vote called? Not the actual electoral vote.
Electoral college.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a dang on shame. Oh well.
Yep. Yep. So. All right, man. Well, it was good. We hope everybody enjoyed. Got any last words for us?
Nope, nothing right now. We'll see you all probably next coming weeks and see what's going on and now we talk politics and that would be fun.
Yeah, politics are.
We'll probably get more listeners when we talk about politics.
So the one thing I am curious, the one big thing I am curious about is what is the sentencing going to be for Trump and for Biden? So once that happens, we darn sure need to do. Because I still want to go through the probation thing, because that's going to be some funny shit. It just shows up at the White House. I need you to pee in this cup. Flozel's just gone. He's been having some technical difficulties. So appreciate you, everybody. Those who watch live, those who are going to watch later. Y'all have a good week.